6 years ago, I came to the UK from Nigeria. I was born and raised there for 13 years of my life. When we did come over here, we did struggle. And for a long ass time, I remember sleeping on the couch in a living room where three of my other siblings would stay in the same time. And it sucked, honestly. Every single day was the same. There was a lot of times where I would have to eat the same thing every single day. I'd have tea and biscuits, and that would be my whole meal for the whole day. And sometimes, my mom would even struggle and try to get us McDonald's with the amount of money that she had, which wasn't really a lot at the time. And this was the same for, I think, 2 years of my whole life. It got to the point so much that I hated it. I hated hearing we need to make money every single day for my mom, for my parents, because that was the only thing that was on our mind. And at a young age, at around 15, I would be searching on YouTube how to make money online because I had no idea what was going on. And the videos I would be watching were just horrible because I'll be watching videos about, affiliate marketing, doing surveys, doing a bunch of stuff that doesn't actually help you. And when I did realize that, hey, this is not the way, I already had wasted a year of my whole life because by the time I did come to UK, I didn't even know what YouTube was. However, there was this one video that I did find on my whole YouTube journey that completely changed the course of my whole life. When I did watch that video, I took action, I implemented the steps, and then fast forward today, 12 months from now watching that video, I've generated over 127,000 US dollars. This video is just going to be meant to inspire and show you that it's actually possible to make this amount of money in a very short amount of time, assuming you have the right information, which I'm about to break down for you today. But before I get into that, we have to start from the beginning. Let's backtrack a little bit back to when I started this whole online thing. When I was searching on YouTube, going through all these courses and videos explaining how to make money online, there was a lot of fluff. There was a lot of stuff saying, do all these things, and I didn't really think any of these things would work. However, I can't remember what video it was, but one person said something to me that stood out from the rest. And they basically said, the only way to make a lot of money is to provide a lot of value. And when I heard this at 15, it completely changed my whole perspective because I didn't understand what he was actually saying. But I went from a mindset of, I need to just take, to I actually need to give first and then receive. And once I had that mindset shift, it immediately made me start thinking, what are ways that I can add value into other people's lives that can allow them to pay me monetary value? I looked into different methods. I looked into learning a high ticket skill. I looked into drop shipping. I looked into so many things. But then I ultimately landed on programming at the age of 16. I stacked up all the money I made from surveys. I was able to actually invest in a course on Udemy that actually taught me how to program. This was like my first step into actually doing something that was beneficial, because when I learned this skill, I was able to actually go on marketplaces, and this allowed me to actually make my first ever tangible dollar. So I think I'll put a screenshot here, but my first ever payment that was actual real that came into my bank account was £19.40. When I did realize this was possible, I doubled down on learning skills and learning how to provide value. I spent hours watching videos on how to do graphic design, how to code, and this ultimately allowed me to make my first £1,000 in cash collected. At 16, this was a crazy amount of money. Like, I have never made that much in my life. I thought I was a baller. I was able to, buy the stuff I wanted to buy, which was like most of the time just food. I remember my dream was, I was just saying, man, if I had enough just to buy KFC, if I was every single time I'm going outside, that would be sick. I had that in mind, and I was able to do that. But it got to the point where I just didn't really enjoy it, because I just didn't enjoy the fact of me having to, revise, go back and do all these things, because they wouldn't like the end product. Sometimes they'd be like, change this, change that, and sometimes they wouldn't even know what they want. I'm sure if you're creative, you might be able to relate to this. Like, people don't even know what they want at this point. With that in mind, I went on YouTube to find out ways to actually de-stress, because it was just too much for me at the time. I just couldn't handle it. I was like, how can I, be more productive and actually do more of the things that's actually going to make me more money? Hey guys, hope you're enjoying the video so far. Just wanted to let you guys know I'm actually running a masterclass on Sunday the 26th of November. Basically, I'm going to talk about how you can actually sign a lot of high ticket clients, and I'm talking about a lot to the point that your fulfillment breaks. I'm going to break down everything, like how to do it consistently, how you can actually do it consistently, which is more important. And if you have any sort of agency, coaching, or consulting business that you're trying to scale up, you need to be on this webinar. The first link in the description, that's where you can register. Make sure you check it out. It's completely free, and I hope to see you on the other side. Anyways, let's get back into the video. Peace. I came across this video called Monk Mode, and when I watched that video, it completely changed my whole perspective, because I didn't understand how people were able to be so diligent and productive. And then when I did watch that video, it made so much sense. Even though I would say, I didn't enjoy it, it was probably because I was just frying my dopamine receptors. But then the person talking mentioned something interesting. He basically said, hey, I have a business model that is allowing me to do all this stuff that I'm talking about right now. And I noticed he's got a nice microphone, he's got a nice setting, he's got a nice laptop. What does he do? And then I went down the rabbit hole of Smma, social media marketing agency. I came across this and I had no idea this service actually existed. I never knew that you could just start one out of thin air. You didn't require too much experience. You just had to have a couple skills and you knew how to sell and get in front of people. This completely changed my whole course and the whole perspective for me. Once I realized this is something I need to start implementing, I had to buy the course. First 2 months wasn't too great. It sucked because I didn't really know what I was doing. There was a little bit of lack of information in the actual course. It came to a point where everyone was just kind of stuck when it came to like finding clients. But then once I did figure out the method, it was actually by accident. I hopped on a call with a 7-figure company at the time that was helping people get more appointments. And when I did hop on a call, the person speaking, he knew for a fact that there's no way you're going to be able to afford it, because at the time the program was around 9,000 USD. However, he gave me 10 minutes of advice of tangible things that I can actually do that will get me my next client. That information I got on that call completely surpassed every single thing I knew about client acquisition. And within 2 weeks of me learning from that call, I was able to sign my first 2 clients that paid me $1,500 a month, and another client that paid me $500 a month for solo marketing. I think when that happened, I actually cried that day because I didn't know it was actually possible, because I went from making 1,000 or something here and there, making websites and stuff, to getting that paid from one client every single month. When that happened, it was probably the best moment ever because I felt so happy, but I didn't really get to taste that amount of money because I actually reinvested a lot back into it, into coaching. At the time, I paid that same person that coached me on that call for sales coaching again. And to be fair, it was probably the best couple $100 that I spent in my life because I just kept reinvesting. But then I realized that there's a bigger opportunity in the market. There wasn't a lot of people talking about this at the time because it was a very unique problem that you would only realize if you actually had clients. Basically, at this time, I was figuring out my offer, and then the person I had a call with before says to me, hey, why don't you actually switch your offer to something a lot more profitable for you that can probably propel you to get to where you want to be a lot faster? I was like, what is it? And it was short form content. So he told me to start short form content agency, completely revamp everything. And I said, sure, let's do it. Because I found it to be a much more scalable model than what I was doing in the past. And to be fair, it was. I did sign a lot of clients because it was actually a very trendy service. But then I got to a roadblock because when I had these clients, they kept coming to me with different types of problems. And these problems, I didn't know how to solve them. It just became this spiral of problem to the point that even when they did sign clients, they're like, hey, how do I fulfill the service? I don't think you can run away from it. But I think me having clients at that pivotal point in time actually really helped me in terms of understanding what the cycles of problems people face anytime they have any sort of offer. What I ended up doing is I ended up solving these problems as they came. As a result, I actually built up quite a few really good case studies of people that were actually paying me and getting a result. At this point in time, I think I was around £5,000 a month in December. And then what we did in February was our biggest month at the time, was 15,000 USD dollars. And this was when we were solving problems like non-stop. Client comes in, we have a roadmap of how we're going to get them leads, how we're going to get them calls, how we're going to get them clients. And now that's basically what the growth partner model is. It's a model where you're solving every single piece of aspect that could influence the growth of any sort of business. What I mean by this is you're solving the offer, you're solving the thing people are selling, you're solving the marketing, you're solving how these people get on calls, you're solving the sales, you're solving how people convert on these calls, and then you're solving the service delivery, how people actually jump in and get a result from the services. You're almost like business partners in a sense. And the reason why this model works extremely well is because you can be extremely profitable, you can charge a lot higher, and you can actually work with select few amount of clients and ultimately make a ton of money. And this is exactly what I pivoted to, and it's been able to get my clients crazy results. Like you can probably just see a bunch of them popping on the screen because it's actually ridiculous. It's only because I solved these problems as they were coming, and I built up a really good foundation to be able to solve more problems that my clients were facing. So now I'm at a really good point where I can predictably bring on a client, get them a predictable result without them having to even break a sweat. And if you are in any sort of position where you have a business and you are just kind of struggling to obviously scale, maybe sign clients or book calls, you might be looking at the wrong information. You might be hiring the wrong people, because when you're working with a growth partner, they solve everything. We solve offers, we solve acquisition, we solve sales, and we also help you with your delivery as well too, so that the clients that you even sign get results as well. And these types of agencies are the number one place to go to, especially if you're any sort of coach or consultant, or you have any sort of agency that's responsible for growth. And it doesn't have to be any sort of specific offer like you pay me once, you get this return. You could be coaching people tennis, but you can still make money if you work with a growth partner agency, because these are the people that understand the market and they understand marketing way better than you actually do. It's just the honest truth. There's no harsh feelings in it, but this realization is what has allowed my clients to pay me and then get a really crazy return on the investment. Because the last thing you want to do is pay someone, not get a result, and then they run off with your money. So now with this model, I think this is what I'm going to be running for the next couple of months. We'll see how it goes, but it's been able to help me scale, and it's been able to help me get crazy results. It's allowed me to be respected in my niche and being seen as an authority, because all my clients respect me a lot at this point in time, and they've been able to give me a bunch of referrals that have honestly helped my business a ton. And I couldn't be more grateful for all of them, and you might be watching this. I appreciate you so much. So once you do that, your life is going to change for the better, just like how it changed my life for the better as well too. Because I've been able to collect over $127,000 in the span of a year, which is really crazy. I know it's good to not get complacent, and I'm going to keep working, keep producing results, because I know that's the lifeblood of my business. And that's how I went from completely zero to building a 6-figure business at the age of 19. In the next video, I'm going to talk more about the technical side of things, so how you can actually get these results in your businesses. And if you're in a situation where you have an agency or you have a coaching business and you're trying to actually scale it up, that is going to be the video for you to watch. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day. Appreciate you watching the video, and we'll speak very soon. Peace out.